What's going on, guys? It's your boy Moto MMA. This is my son True Roll, and today we're going to show you a gun defense technique that can save your life. Now, just want you guys to see that this is completely unloaded. There's no bullets in here. I'm going to rack back the gun. No bullets came out of it whatsoever. All right, take the clip back in there, rack it back. We're good to go. All right, now I'm going to have him stick the gun up to my stomach here. This is how you defend against an attacker who has a gun pointed to your stomach. First off, you want to let him know, that you're completely cooperative. Please don't hurt me, Now, I'm going to take this gun from you, and I'm going to disarm you, and you have to try to pull the trigger before I can stop you, okay? Ready, set, boom. Right there. I'm going to show you it again. Ready, set. Now here, I use this hand to deflect. My hands are already up. So I'm going to deflect the gun out of my way so he doesn't shoot my body, and boom, elbow to the side of the head. Now guys, just so you know, that whole technique was a load of crap. I just made it up 5 seconds ago while sitting on the toilet. So I'm going to show you in reality why a lot of gun defense techniques and different things like that, they just don't work. Alright guys, welcome back. Now if you could, please comment, like, subscribe, all that great stuff. I greatly appreciate it. Now, on to the topic of today's video. Now what you guys just saw earlier was my idea of how a lot of different training techniques and different ideas get started. A lot of time martial artists or even regular people come up with different concepts, stuff that seems like a good idea. And because they don't have to prove it, even to themselves, they can kind of run with it. I mean, if you saw that video at the very beginning, it may have seemed like a legit gun defense technique. If I really wanted to maybe market that, I have pictures and videos of me fighting in kickboxing. I have pictures and videos of me fighting in MMA. So, I mean, I can prove that I have a martial arts background. So, if I took that martial arts background along with that, now here is my knowledge of gun defense, and here is my age. I'm a man of 39 years old. I'm getting older. Excuse me, been around the block a little bit. I can embellish on some things, make it seem like maybe I've had 100 fights or this or that, and I put all that together, and you can sell anything, guys, anything. And I already have a lot of friends and family members who believe in me as it is. I already have enough people who know, that I do have a martial arts background. So to sell a gun defense wouldn't be that hard for me. And the second thing that I'd have to really, do too is once I put it in my mind that I know what I'm talking about, that I have this God-given knowledge that, I just think no one else thought of, or a lot of people don't know, that I can put out into the world, you know what I mean? I convince myself, because a lot of times people say, okay, they put something out to be a scam. I don't think people put stuff out to be a scam, guys. I think a lot of times, like the guy in the Detroit urban survival training or whatever it is, guys, I don't think he meant any harm as like a scam per se, but I think what a lot of it is, in his mind, he's convinced himself that these techniques really do work. And why do I say that? Because he actually invites people to his gym. He did have that one video where he completely failed the technique, where the guy shot him like 3 or 4 times, you know what I mean? He wasn't able to successfully get the gun. But I wouldn't invite people to my gym and let them film it and all this kind of stuff. If I really was unsure about my techniques, you wouldn't come to my gym. If I really thought I was scamming you, I probably wouldn't let you film it. But if I can convince myself in my mind after a while that what I do is real, then of course I would. the reality slaps a lot of people in the face. You know what I mean? When they do that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Like you had the people that do like the no touch knockouts. You know what I'm saying? Like they have convinced themselves in this little group that they have this aura, this chi, because people make you feel good about it. Like people make you feel like you're the big dog and you're amazing and you're just, you know, all this and that. You know what I'm saying? So they get in those groups and they believe what they believe until you saw with George Dillman and some of those guys. They finally had some come in that did not believe it and it got debunked. And it slapped him back into reality of what I believe in, is not real. You know? What I believe in has not been really tested. And with a lot of these like gun disarming techniques, knife disarming techniques and things like that, the problem is you really, you know, and in my experience, I've been to, like I say, a lot of MMA gyms and I've done traditional Taekwondo. I have not seen them really teach a lot of this stuff, okay? Like the gun disarms and the knife disarms. They don't really go over it a lot, you know what I mean? Maybe once or twice in my life, I've had a little bit of training with that kind of stuff, but not a lot, you know what I'm saying? And it's structured. Just like how you saw in my video. I had him put the gun to my stomach, you know what I mean? Where I told him to put the gun at, you know, I controlled the countdown and I was like, okay, ready, set, and then I did my technique. All right, I let you go back again, where he may feel like he's in control. It may seem like a sense of realism, but in all actuality, I'm controlling the pace, the scenario, and the outcome of the technique, because it's my technique, it's my video, it's my time, it's my training thing. Everything is all about me. It's not about the realism of the technique. You know, my son for half a second thought I was really, you know, being serious. You know what I mean? Like, huh. And then when he saw the end of the video, he's like, oh, that's cool, Dad. Yeah, I get it. I knew you hadn't lost your mind. You know, and, you know, a lot of people don't get that. You know what I mean? They don't get the guy in the video, like, saying, you know, hey, guys, all right, I just made this up. You know, I don't know whether this works. I feel like it should. I just did it. You know, they don't get that. But the guy that made the technique, doesn't also get the realism of the technique. Like, he doesn't have someone, because, I mean, you can cop out of it and say, hey, I can't have someone actually shoot at me. That's dangerous. You know, but, you know, I saw this one video where a guy used a paintball gun. You know what I'm saying? It was like, it looked like a real handgun, but it was a paintball. And he put on like a vest. He had on like a motorcycle helmet, all that kind of stuff. And he kind of went at it with some of the gun defense techniques, and he got shot at it. You know what I mean? Like, so if he's putting something together, you know what I'm saying? Like, if this guy ever gets something together, I could believe it a little bit more. But at the end of the day, the one thing he did say is that, you know, you do these techniques if you feel like maybe there is no other choice. You know, if you feel like, you know, this is just an extreme life or death. Because his wife shot at him like 8 times. And I think out of the 8 times, he was shot like 3 times, you could see for sure. You know what I mean? So, I mean, he would have died, you know what I'm saying, somewhere in there. So, I mean, he kept it real. Like, this is something you do maybe if you feel like there is just no other choice. But the most important thing and the smartest thing to do is just give him the money. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, you may not get as many people, you know, walk up to you and just put the gun there, you know, and kind of like, that's not very realistic. You know what I'm saying? I didn't show the part of the video, but I really should have. At one point or another, when I was going over it with my son, you know, he almost debunked the technique before I could even finish the video. At one point or another, because you got to remember, guys, I didn't actually get the gun from him. I deflected the gun or whatever. I knocked it to the side. And if you had really seen what happened on the other side of that, I had to actually kind of grab the gun because I didn't want you guys to see it almost. But really, he took his hand, and how the gun was this way when I deflected, and he just kind of slightly turned the gun, you know what I mean? And shot a little bit, you know what I mean? Could have done like, bam, he would have actually probably shot me, you know what I mean? And he's no career criminal. He is no, martial arts guru. It's just, it's just like a natural human nature. You know what I'm saying? I hit him with the elbow to the neck area. I mean, I'm really betting the farm on this elbow that I'm hoping that it would, I guess, knock the person out unconscious, because if not, the fight still continues. And a lot of these gun techniques don't really go with that. They don't really show what happens next. I mean, the fight still continues. Just because you knock the gun kind of out of someone's way, I mean, they're gonna still, now come at you for real because you tried to, take the gun from them, you tried to hurt them or something. So the adrenaline is really pumping and it's really on. You know what I'm saying? So it really changes the level of the technique. Something, and I want to try to quote him. Rob, please don't be mad at me. Don't roast me. I'm gonna send you a copy of this, and hopefully he gets back to me, guys. Rob from McDojo Life. I asked him one time, about, how can you truly debunk a technique? You know what I mean? You can't slip a jab always and not get hit, and that's the truth. But where he broke it down was almost like a percentage thing, and hopefully he can get back to me on that, and I can make sure I quote that correct. And find his video and I'll post it down in my comments. But it's almost like a percentage thing, you know what I mean? If this technique works at least 90% of the time, you can say that yes, this technique works, you know what I'm saying? But if you got a technique that you are not pressure testing, like legit pressure testing, not like what I did, choreographed pressure testing or synchronized testing or whatever have you, you know what I mean? If you got a technique that works 90% of the time, then this technique works, and that's a lot where these gun defense guys and knife defense guys, they don't really legit pressure test it. They don't know, whether these techniques work. They can just simply come up with something that seems so good to them in their mind, patent it, and say, hey, this is it, They can convince themselves and they can convince others that this stuff works. And in all actuality, they have no clue whatsoever. It's just something that seemed like it should work. It would work. Can you knock a gun out of somebody's hand and hit him? Yeah, I suppose it's happened for sure. I'm sure. You know what I'm saying? Would I bet the farm on it? No. You just don't. Especially. I like the way it was put once from, the point blank range when I'm right up on you, when the gun is like this, guys, how big my fingers are, you're probably dead. You know what I mean? You're probably dead. You can maybe get it away from this close. If it's back here, don't reach for that sucker. You're definitely dead. Because then you got to really go out of your way to try to get that gun, I would say the best technique is just to give the criminal what they want, But if you do feel the need that you have to try to defend yourself, guys, I would say find a studio. I don't know of any offhand that I can even go to myself that I guess will have techniques that they can show you that they legit live pressure test a lot, I guess, like maybe like paintballs or something. I don't know. That you could go over and over and over again till you have a really high probability of this technique working. And like I said, this must be an extreme life or death situation, because I would still say if he steals $100 from me, I can get it back next week. I can work, that sucks. But I mean, if you just have to, I would say find someplace where I guess you can truly train these techniques with somebody who has really some real background, and make sure you study their background. Make sure you know. Last point, guys, make sure you know your self-defense instructor's actual background, guys. Just because someone's in the military, and I get this a lot, just because someone's in the military does not automatically mean they were Navy SEAL, they were, an extreme bad A, you know what I mean? There are a lot of jobs in the military that does not require being a bad A, you know what I mean? And a lot of the military is actually about how well you can shoot versus how well you can handle yourself hand-to-hand combat. You've got a lot of guns and bullets flying on a war field. You don't have as much fist, you know what I'm saying? So, just because someone says they were in the military doesn't exactly mean, they were a bad A. And make sure they can prove some of the stuff that they tell you if they do go that route. Same thing if they're a police officer, you know what I mean? Just because you're a police officer doesn't mean you're exactly just the next Bruce Lee. You know what I mean? You have a lot of cops that work different jobs and different scenarios that, you know, may not have actually been in like a lot of these, you know, situations. So, you know, find out who you're studying from. Find out something about him. Make sure things are legit before you just take his advice, you know, or her advice, you know what I mean? For that matter. I mean, it just is what it is, guys. You know, you got to know what you're learning is real for your safety, you know what I mean? And when it comes to gun defense, knife defense, guys, my best advice is just kind of leave it alone, you know what I mean? Give the person what they want, you know, live to fight another day, you know what I'm saying? And if you must try some kind of gun or knife defense technique, make sure it is not something you got off of YouTube. Make sure it's something that you have trained and you have trained repeatedly, and that you know that you have a high probability of pulling off, because any mistake at that particular moment, too slow, there is no reset, there is no, oh, I got hurt. It could literally end up being the end of your life, and that's just how serious that it is. All right, guys, well, that's enough for me. It's your boy Motor MMA, aka Jason Ball, saying thank you so very much for watching, guys. Please comment, like, subscribe, and Happy New Year! See you later. Peace.